Hello, thank you very much for visiting. For the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be talking about a technology to actually power the whole planet, concentrated sunlight, otherwise known as solar smelters. Now here it is, my particular design, which is a half-shell parabolic patented by the Patent Office. I'm trying to perfect, but there have been examples where other people have been able to melt metals. Fresnel lenses, for example, melt coins, and at Sandia Labs in Albuquerque, they melt nuclear warheads with tower-type solar smelters. The thing about solar smelters is that it turns out the surface temperature of the sun on Earth. It's kind of like a giant magnifying glass. Now here is what I have to say. With the widespread mass production of solar smelters, we could actually turn and change the currency of the entire world away from digital currency. We have a digital currency based on credit cards and electronic. Here are four big problems. Invasion of privacy. The banks know what we're doing, and they share that information with other people. The swipe fee. Every time you trade, you have to pay somebody for the computer. Power outages. Inflation and debt. And then I would also say there are cases where people have been deprived of a bank account. That way they've been deprived of access to currency. So I'm critical of our present emphasis upon the internet. We can, though, go back to coins with solar smelters, and because coins have intrinsic value, like gold, silver, titanium, selenium, the invention of solar smelters could change the currency of this whole planet. Just a little history. Barter was the first form of currency. Later on we had silver and gold. And believe it or not, a lot of copper came from North America, creating the Bronze Age. Benjamin Franklin invented paper money. Worldwide, we have $300 trillion plus in debt, all of it created by computers. And I think in the future, with the invention of solar smelters, we could go back to metals, much like Star Trek with the lithium bars. So, let me put it this way. Solar smelters used to melt hieroglyphics in the stones. They didn't chisel those carvings out. They actually melted those things with a parabolic curve. King Tut had a burning marrow. In China they found solar-powered cigarette lighters. Solar smelters actually ancient art used by people in ancient times, even the Native Americans, Incas, and Aztecs. I mean, back in ancient time, they used to mine silver in Latin America. They took an entire mountain made of silver, and that's how we ended with silver coins all over. Rare metals are everywhere. We can extract it with magnets from sand, black sand like around volcanoes. And a lot of times these iron filings, as we call them, have rare metals in there, which makes it very valuable. Some of these metals are valued at like $400,000 a pound, used in electronics. And back in ancient time, the Knights Templars used to have a banking system. Again, we can go back to melting metals. That way the miners themselves mine their own metal and not have to be worked as slave laborers for the guy who owns the smelter. People make their own metals, make their own coins. So with that history, I'm going to outline how my solar smelter design would be built. Be a modular aluminum construction. Another design was actually used by the ancient people in Incas, even the Southwest, where they carved these parabolics in cliffs, and then they melted rock with these things. Even did cooking, made hot air, things with it. This is an ancient art that was lost. The ancient people, Native Americans, used to make these things out of brick and stone. And it's a known formula. It's based upon the parabolic. Make these things, shall we say, 1,000 feet in diameter, 500 feet tall. You could actually create solid light. That was how they made the crystal skulls. You can see them in the Smithsonian. But, you know, you make them out of aluminum, plastic, and make them modular. Put them in a box, ship them out with via eBay or via Amazon. The fact that we have a low center of gravity versus, shall we say, parabolic dishes. Reduces the cost. Track it with bicycle wheels. This is a known patented technology by the patent office that someday I hope to put in mass production. So I'm talking about powering this whole planet with solar smelters. There are really two types of major solar smelters: fixed position and tracking. And then we can use these things for relief. This is a good example where I use a heliostat and to focus it in and on the focus there in the and it focuses the sun's rays. We and even run water through there, or treat wastewater with it, steam, or run hot oil through there to run a power plant. So we embed pipes into a thermal mass. That way it makes hot air at nighttime. And we can hook these things at the power plants. We could put these things on top of a coal strip mine and actually make enough energy from sunlight to power our huge 1,000 megawatt power plant. Make these things out of recycled material. And with this comments, I really hope someday to get these things into mass production. This is a prototype that I use for solar. But I want to build these things bigger and better material. And there are other similar designs. I've been known to do solar cooked turkeys with solar cookers, and then make biodiesel fuel. This was actually demonstrated in front of the U.S. Capitol, making biodiesel fuel for a city transit bus. This is the photograph the first time we did this at a fair in Vashon, Alabama. Then, you know, this could be used for water treatment and put a stop to cholera and stuff like this. So with that, I want to point out to people that we can actually make these things where we can build a rocket ship to Mars. Concentrated sunlight is actually a very powerful thing. That's why I'm proposing building a company called SunBustion. And that way we bring energy of the sun to mankind. Thank you very much for listening.